Welcome to Inspired Chi Radio with your hosts AJ Johnzak and Tracy Sanjanetti. In this program, we explore what makes you a powerful soul by learning to connect with your guides and master your own energy. It's time once and for all to get rid of the obstacles in your life that are keeping you from being the true soul you are meant to be. Now, here are your hosts, Tracy and AJ.
Hello, and welcome to Inspired Chi Radio, the place to start your week inspired. My name is AJ Johnzak.
And my name is Tracy Sanjanetti.
And together we are
Inspired Chi.
And we're not even going to recap last week's episode at this point because we have such a wonderful guest that we want to start speaking to right away. And I want to introduce our guest for this evening. Teresa Roba is somebody that we've had the pleasure of attending some of her events, and someone that for a while we've been wanting to work with. So introduced through a mutual friend. Shout out to Christy Ferguson.
Again, we're always shouting out to Christy Ferguson.
We're always shouting out to Christy Ferguson. But thank you, Christy, because we have had the pleasure of being introduced and attending one of Teresa's events, and it was a wonderful event. So Teresa Roba, medium extraordinaire, visionary, wonderful, wonderful person. Welcome to our show. We are delighted to have you on this episode.
Oh, hello. I can't wait to meet her. Where is she? Nice to meet you, Tracy and AJ. I'm excited to be a part of your podcast today.
Well, we're very excited. And I'll tell you, we typically asking how you began, because we find that the journey, the spiritual journey that people are on starts in different places, different times of their lives, different paths, and I always find it so interesting. So would you share with us a little bit about your journey, how you've come to this place in your life?
Well, I'm going to start out by saying I never saw it coming, okay? So, as probably most people will say, it's a long story, I guess, because I'm a nonna now. I have 6 grandchildren, 3 children with, spouses and all that going on. So, but let's do like little highlights. I'll say when I was little, I was raised in an Irish-Italian Catholic upbringing. I felt so much grace when I went to church. I really felt like I remembered heaven, and when I started talking about it, people didn't understand, so I was shy and quiet, and I just kept it to myself. I would have visions of Mary, the Virgin Mary, Jesus. I'd fall to my knees in first grade at Christ the King in Philadelphia schoolyard. The St. Joseph nuns will come up to me, "What are you doing, Teresa? That's just the sun." And I thought, okay, they're not seeing what I'm seeing. And I actually thought I was going to be a nun. And I used to grow up with the movies on TV of the Song of Bernadette and all that. And they always became nuns at the end, and they saw Mary. And, well, let's just say Donny Osmond, Vinnie Barbarino from Welcome Back, Kotter, and Tom Jones changed my mind. Puberty, for those that are young and hot listening that don't know who they are. And then I got married, had kids, and I got pulled to a shrine called Our Lady Czestochowa in Doylestown, honoring the Polish Virgin Mary. And again, I'm not Polish, but I had to go there. And while this was all happening, I had met somebody that was a musician, turned out to be a friend, actually longtime friend. We're still all connected. We've gotten, married, kids, all this stuff. And when I met him, all of a sudden, I felt like I was in France. He was killed, and I was mourning his death. It was a very odd, freaky thing. Years into this, I thought, this can't be happening. It's just my imagination. I'm nothing to blame it on. Everything's good in my life, thank God. I go to see his band, and he announces that night that, and this is when spirit starts coming to me. And I say it can't be him because he's happy with his wife. I'm happy with my husband. Here he announces that he changes the name of the band to Afterlife. So okay, so all these serendipities started happening, and that's a whole other book on its own. But while I was going to Our Lady Czestochowa to mourn my grief from 300 years ago, because I was doing regressional work trying to heal my heart from being in France in the 1600s, where and know that I had a very healthy skepticism going on, and then things would fall in my path like a class to take, and I would go to take this class on past life regression, but I had to do these 8 other classes to get to that one, to meet my spirit guide and all this stuff I thought was a bunch of you know what. And here I met my spirit guide, or I had an out-of-body experience, or I met my guardian angel. And my spirit guide started clearly speaking to me and leading me to the library to research all these things that I had known about my life in the 1600s. And not only did I find the facts true, but there was my etching. There was an etching of me among other people, about 6 or 10 people. And next to me, standing right next to me, is a man looking exactly like my husband in this life. And as my hands started sweating, I realized, again, this has just got to be 2 people that look like us. And this is just a huge coincidence. So I did a regression with a regressionist, and I started speaking French. I had 3 years of Spanish at Archbishop Ryan. I don't speak French. It turned out to be perfect French, and it explained the whole scene that was unfolding. And while I was going to the shrine, while I was doing all these things that would fall into my path to lead me to opening up and waking up, I had my guide come to me and say, you're going to run into your old friend Alan. He's going to tell you about this guy Richard, and he's going to lead you to him, and he's going to be your teacher. Well, I run into him a week later that I haven't seen in years. He says, I just feel like I want to take you to the store. I go to the store with him. They're doing Reiki. I never heard of it. I mingle with people. I'm doing Reiki, and they say, oh, you're a Reiki master. I said, what's this Reiki? I just knew how to do it. I meet this guy there. I'm chatting with him. He says his name's Richard. I said, oh, my God, Richard, I'm supposed to meet you. He goes, yes, I've been waiting for you. My guardian angel, my guide, told me I'd be working with him for 8 years. 8 years later, he said to me, and I never told him this, he said, we're done. And I said, what do you mean we're done? You're my teacher. And he says, no, we're done. And then like about a month later, he just went into the Lotus position and passed. There was nothing wrong with him. And what happened during that learning Reiki, learning how to meditate, because God knows I know how to talk, I had to learn how to listen, and spirit showing up, I started having not only Mary come to me at the shrine, but she was talking to me. And one day she wound up appearing to me. It's called apparition, where you're clearly awake. You see a spirit with you, and it was in the shape of the Virgin Mary, and she sent love into my heart. She asked me to do something for her. When I said yes, she gave me a gift. I didn't know what it was. The next day I was praying, and I heard, open your eyes, not in my mind, but in the room. And I opened my eyes. There's a Franciscan monk standing in front of me, giving me his name, Padre Pio. I never heard of it. And I didn't understand him because he had such a thick Italian accent. So Padre Pio, I what? And he says, Padre, like Father Pio. And he said to me what Our Lady had asked of me. He was there to protect me, do all the work, orchestrated through me, and I had nothing to worry about. That's the night that I got woken up in the middle of the night when I was sleeping, and a little old lady at the foot of my bed glowing, smiling at me. This happened night after night. Different souls were waking me up. And this was a little, concerning, never fearful, though. And then this is the end of the story, is that I was this is like a lot going on, a lot of spiritual things. But what happened was I was at a store shopping, and I felt a spirit around me. I kept hearing Bill, 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 Bill. May, 6 kids. And then he gave me the heavy grief of a woman next to me that I didn't know, that she was grieving him. And then I got all the love that he had for her. And I got the push, almost like, could you please, with love, to go up to her and ask her, like say hi. And I thought, how do you go up to a stranger and say you see their dead husband? This is before John Edward crossing over and Teresa Caputo. So thank God for the movie Ghost, because I went up and said, and thank God she saw the movie, because I went, excuse me, it's going to sound weird, but can I ask you something? And she said, sure, what? I said, you ever see that movie Ghost with Sam? He died. Well, he played a woman that could see him, his spirit. And she said, oh, I love that movie. Great, 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 because I'm whoopee. I see dead people. I don't know why, but Bill's here. I'm thinking I'm going to say it quick and run before she calls security. And I said, he's saying, May, 6 kids, he really loves you. He's standing right there. He wants to let you know he knows how much you miss him. But when you talk to him, he hears you. He feels how much you love him. And all of a sudden she hugged me. Instead of calling security, she hugged me. And while she was hugging me, she said, I feel lighter, thank you. And I thought, oh my God. And this kept happening, total strangers at different random moments. And they all kept saying, I feel lighter. And that's not really, to me, a common kind of way of expressing yourself. So I looked up like, you got to be kidding. This is the gift? This is what you want me to do? So I've never regretted saying yes to something I didn't know to turn out to be this. I've been doing it 22 years, and I can see how people get to remember what's really going on. Because I think everybody knows it. Everybody feels and kind of senses that we're around people, they're around us. But to have that faith, that just knowing that we're going to see them again, not just hoping, a fact, we will be together again. There is a heaven. And in the meantime, they're with us, is just amazing every day. Every day I go, I can't believe I just said that, or they just got me to say that.
And
okay, so that's pretty much the story.
And it's a good story. We're going to talk about faith a little bit later, but I'm struck by the fact, and I'm hoping that all of our audience listens to this and hears this, truly hears it, that the universe, the Lord, the higher conscious, whatever term somebody is comfortable with, we are always getting messages. And sometimes those messages are little signs, little symbols. The messages that you received in the way that you did were comfortable for you because you were raised in the tradition of saints. You were raised in the tradition of honoring the Blessed Mother. So just speak about some of speak about the importance, if you would, of when you hear that message, regardless of how wacky it might sound, following. Because that's what you did. You followed the messages that you got.
Yes, and that's one of the things I can't believe you just said that, because if anybody's listening, this is going to be something I hope they do remember from listening to this. It's called just the pattern of behavior of listening and following, that surrender, that Mother Teresa, total surrender, not worrying about how it works, just accepting it and just following that. And like God tells me these things, like tell them, when they pick up their phone, do they really care how it works? They just use it. When they turn on the TV, do they really care how it's working? They watch their favorite show. Do that with this gift. Just let it do what it needs to do and receive what you're meant to receive from it. And I got to tell you, like, I'm really getting pulled to say, like, people need to realize, and this will jump everybody 10 feet forward, is that the conversations they tell me in heaven, like, they don't really say, hi, my old phone number is 802-5783, or hey, you want to go to Chicky and Pete's crab fries, extra cheese at 7, no calories. It's all emotional telepathy. It's feelings with pictures. So the more you can use your visual mind, that's why meditation is so important, because you surrender into the grace and it takes you on this kind of floating experience, whether you're listening to someone say, imagine a brook with a deer lapping up water and there goes the waterfall. You're going on this little visual journey. The more you use that inner sight, that they really use that to communicate. And the world, they tell me, this world we walk through, that path that we fall upon, that's what they do. They use it to connect with us. Seemingly coincidences, especially numbers, because numbers are everywhere in our world. License plates, we just glance at the clock, not even caring what time it is. There's their date of death or birth or old address. It's a little God wink, which is not a coincidence. It's literally with love and a lot of effort that falls upon your path to give a symbol of a message of a connection. Like even they tell me with songs, don't just hear the song and say that's a sign. Listen to the words. We chose that song to deliver a message within it. So it's like kind of peeling the onion down layer by layer. You get your first message, and then in the message you may find 10 more, because they're always happy that we receive, you know? We're going to do the same when we get there.
So Teresa, we have so many more questions. So glad you're joining us today. This has been already illuminating, and we're going to take a quick break before we get back and get into crossing over a little bit more and some questions and answers that you get a lot. I also wanted to share the experience we had with our guest from last week who had an experience with you. So we waited to discuss her episode because we wanted to put this in your ear today when we were having this interview, when you talk about making people feel lighter. So sometimes you touch people, and I know that sometimes you know it, but sometimes you don't. So stay with us when we come back.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
The Voice America Live Events channel is here now to showcase your corporate, individual, or organization's live event. Visit voiceamerica.com/live events to see all of our past live events and find out more. Whether it's a multi-day conference, special speaker, or single-day event, we've got everything to make your event a success. We can do a few hours or a few days. For more information about taking your event to the next level, call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or email info@voiceamerica.com. Again, that's Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or send us an email to info@voiceamerica.com. Voice America is where you are and where you want to be. Join us around the globe as we broadcast live from some of the most interesting events available. Don't forget to view all our live events, including on-demand access to past events that you may have missed by visiting voiceamerica.com/live events.
Get ready for High Vibin' It with hosts Lindsay Robinson and Kelsey Aida. This is an all-new look at self-empowerment and lifestyle design. If you are still trying to figure out the law of attraction, spirituality, self-love, and more, we'll break it down for you. You can create the life of your dreams and own your power. Listen for High Vibin' It. We're live every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. This will be 1 hour you will make time for.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
This is Inspired Chi Radio. To reach the program today, please call 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Or send an email to yourtruechi@gmail.com. Now, back to AJ and Tracy.
Welcome back to Inspired Chi Radio. Today, our guest is Teresa Roba, spiritual medium for the Bucks County and surrounding area, somewhat of a local celebrity. And what's really funny, Teresa, is you spoke about the high schools that you went to and the grade school that you went to. And interestingly enough, I went to those same schools. So what I find amazing about the work that you've done in the healing community and using your gift is that you've been able to release that stigma of connecting with spirit is wrong, or you're not supposed to divine the future, you're not supposed to do these things. You have found a way to help people incorporating saints and God and Mary and the angels without having that shame attached to it. Can you speak a little bit about that faith and how you were able to bring that together so cohesively to do your practice?
Well, you may hear other spiritual mediums say the same thing. You can't, I call it the juice that fires through us, and it's not our skin or our hair. It's something that's made of the Holy Spirit, and whether that manifests in different religions, the light of God, it's still what we're made of. It's what heaven's made of, and it can be what flows through us to attract and guide us and help us through good and bad times. And what happened with me is I had a holy experience that when I had somebody come up to me, they received a holy experience, not from me, but through me. I look at myself as the pencil that God writes with. So I always say, when you get something that you appreciate, look up, thank God. And I believe we all in our soul have the memory of being home in heaven, and that we're here to, whether you want to call it school, help each other, do all these things, heal, karmic balance. And we have a chart. We have free will also. And we kind of have an awareness on another level called our higher self to kind of know what's going on, whether you call it your Jiminy Cricket that says, what are you doing? Don't do that or do this. It is not only the spirit world talking to us, but it's our part of our soul that knows better. And there's something deep inside everybody that knows God is real, that we ourselves as a soul, you want to call it a piece of God, is real. So when you're reminded of it, it kind of wakes you up and it feels right. So when people get a taste of something spiritual, they're just getting reminded of what they already know. I wanted to touch something a little bit also, two things actually. One is there is negativity here. It's not all light, right? We're in a broken world. We come to become someone not perfect. We're born to need God, right? So we're reminded of that grace and all. So we have to protect ourselves, just as you would go and take a shower to remove the germs on your body to make sure you don't get sick. You have to bless your soul. You have to feed it in a way. And I believe religion, you want to call it dogma or whatever, and whatever the phone number you call to call God, one phone rings. He knows who he is. Right. He doesn't say, I think it's for you. And it could be Buddha, Krishna, Allah, Jesus, whoever it is to you, God will come to you as the way you perceive him or her. God doesn't have an ego. Doesn't say, oh, you spelt my name wrong. Because when I woke up, when all these spiritual things, past life was opening up and all these things, I had Buddha come to me. I remembered being in India. I remembered being an American Indian. I remembered all my past lives came crashing in. We all bleed red. We're all literally, prejudice shouldn't be, because we're all whether you believe in past lives that you were that nationality or you were that kind of ethnic background, and the fact that we all come from the same place and we all go back to it. And I want to tell you something. When I talk about protection, I mean, especially me, I go to church. I literally will have God say, you have to go to church tomorrow, or you have to go to church today. I go, okay, God, and I go. And there's a part of me, oh my God, I'm tired. I wish I could sleep longer. I went yesterday. I got to go again today. But you just got to surrender into that. God sees you need it, or something good is going to come from that. And when I go, I feel very proud of myself that I actually did that. I look at the Virgin Mary's eyes, and I look at her and I thank her every time I'm brought before her that she brought me to her. Because I benefit by it. It's not, people say it's a sacrifice, and it is. But you have no idea what your soul needs when you get in the grace of someplace holy. So I have been doing pujas. I've gone to temples. I've gone to all kinds of religious buildings, and I still feel the same grace, and it's all wonderful. It all opens me up and makes me feel like who I really am, which is light. Whatever it is, as long as it's light, right? Because the darkness will come at you. And what God shows me is when we do ritual, creed ceremony, and that's a sacrifice and an opportunity to receive grace, we actually build armor like Iron Man all around our body. And it's really, and the devil will try to get to you. And it's an intelligent force. It knows what you will fall for. And it will literally see its own, when you're good, God says, think of you having armor around you because you went to church or synagogue or temple. And then you're good. That means your armor gets shiny, almost like a mirror, like chrome. And when the devil comes at you and sees its own face, it screams and runs away. It can't attack you. And I literally, because I'm sensitive, I'm God-given gift to feel all this stuff, I can feel the creeping in of the darkness when it's thin or when my armor is not as strong. So it is something going on. It's energy, as everybody says, everything's energy. There's a battle or a force or a flow going on around us, and it really will help you if you seek your faith. And I teach people, well, God does, take the I out of everything I say. God moves me to want to tell people that when you're going to want to connect, pick somebody like Little Flower, St. Teresa, St. Anthony, your guardian angel, St. Padre Pio, Buddha, Krishna, Allah, whoever, Jesus. Pick somebody, your spirit guide, just the words spirit guide, your spirit guide is there. If you have more than one spirit guide, your spirit guides are there. Just focusing on them attracts them. Focusing on them helps you feel them. And most likely they're already next to you. And developing that connection helps you attract more positive things. Because when you focus on something positive, you attract it. When you focus on something positive, you become it, you know? So I really feel it's important for people, because there's a million books out there how to be happy, you know, and all the, you know, so it's really important for your intentions, you know, and what you want to create, and be responsible for your own happiness. And you don't do it alone. You can't do it alone. And being aware of the team that already walks with you, which is your people that are your past, the people that are your loved ones, you know, in heaven, that want to help you get a good parking spot. They're there, you know?
And, you know, Teresa, it's funny. In this day and age, we have so many self-help books that are available to us. We have so many devices that we can use to communicate with each other. Communication is instantaneous. You can text, you can pick up the phone, you can do this, you can do that. And I'm struck by the number of people who are trying to connect with people who have crossed over. And I wonder if that is the starting point that you find with many clients. Is that how they really get started on this path, studying it?
Absolutely.
They'll trust the message from grandma and then go, well, maybe there's more to this. Would you speak to that? Because that is a big part of your work, of course, and so comforting to so many people.
Thank you for that. I want to tell you that what I'm getting to say, because there's so much I can say about that, is that when most people come to me, I feel like God really wants me to help them understand they don't need me. The same gift in me is in them. Like when God came here, when Jesus came here, he would say, you can do this. What is in me is in you. So when they come to me, say, and they've lost their son, and they ache to feel him, they ache to know he's okay. They just want to just have something to hold on to just not hope that they'll see them when they pass, that he'll pick them up, that they'll have this wonderful life in heaven, you know, and that he is there. He is with them. He is seeing all that's going on in the world here, you know, that the bond has not been broken. That has already been going on. That boy or that daughter is already giving that mother and father and sister and brother, giving that family signs like crazy. When they walk into my office or on the phone with the phone reading, whatever happens, I could be at the mall and have to go up to somebody standing there. Whatever God puts us in the same zip code somehow, it is to help that person have validation that this is real. It's real. Dot I's, cross T's. It's happening. So when they leave and then something else happens, or they wonder, they can have the answers they seek. They can have the proof. They can delve right into the gift they're getting by smelling something that doesn't have a physical origin, by seeing somebody walk by that looks just like that person that's passed, by getting a butterfly that flies around them, or a rainbow in the sky, or a bluebird cardinal, or running across something, or anything, having that dream that they held them and they wake up. Could that be real? Could that have really happened? Because it is. And when they go to heaven where the pain isn't, because it's here, and they hold them in their arms, they'll know. But to believe here is such a gift. And I believe, just to go into what you just said, your saints, your angels, God as you see God, all the grace around you will help put on the light for you to know that all that's real. You know, and that's where the comfort is. to delve into the truth and only what you need to remember. Because remember when I said I remembered my past life? I thought everybody had to remember their past life. I was going to save the world and let everybody know that we've been here forever. And no, it's about I needed to remember my past life because that had to wake me up for the gift I didn't see coming. If there's a scientist out there doesn't even believe in God, but in her soul she does, but she's curing cancer, leave her alone, let her cure cancer. Get it? Right. It's not like everyone has to believe the same thing, but know that the ego has to be removed, and knowing what divinely has to happen for the good and the highest to come from it is everyone's goal. Is that, you get that?
Absolutely. And it's funny that you speak about how you get the message and you connect with people. So we had an interesting experience when we were interviewing Connie Welke for a previous episode. And we always ask, how did you begin on your journey? And she said that a friend of hers was having a house party with a medium. And this friend said to Connie, I need a 10th person. You need to come. It's tonight. And Connie said, I don't know anything about this. And she happens to be a biologist and a teacher. And so she's very, very rooted in science. And she said she walked into the room and she met Teresa Roba. And Teresa Roba said to Connie Welke, who are you and what modality do you practice? Because you are a true healer. And now she teaches angelic Reiki. And so
wow.
You had such an impact on her, and she didn't have any idea that we were going to be interviewing you today. And she brought your name up, and Tracy and I are sitting here looking at each other like, wait a minute, where did that come from? So the old adage, when the student is ready, the master appears, is correct. And life is the master that teaches us and brings us so many wonderful things. We're going to take a break, and we will be back in just a moment with the fabulous Teresa Roba.
Voice America is available on your Google connected device.
Okay, Google, play Turning Hard Times into Good Times podcast on iHeartRadio.
Try it today.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click register at the top right.
Join host Marla Goldberg each week for guided spirit conversations. This show puts you, the listener, in touch with some exciting guests. Hear how they've helped others and find out how you can help too through Marla's charity shoutouts. Are you ready to shift your current life experience? We've got tips, tools, and techniques designed to help you get started. Guided Spirit Conversations can be heard Thursdays at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific on Voice America Empowerment.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
This is Inspired Chi Radio. To reach the program today, please call 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Or send an email to yourtruechi@gmail.com. Now, back to AJ and Tracy.
Welcome back to Inspired Chi Radio, the place to start your week inspired. And speaking of starting inspired, we're in a new year, 2020, very exciting. Teresa, and we're joining our guest, Teresa Roba, is back with us, of course. Teresa, let's talk about this new year. I'm sure any number of people set intentions, any number of people hope for the best in a new year. What can you tell us, or what can you share with us about the new year?
Well, let me start out with the numbers of the new year, which is 2020. A 22 to just by itself is a master builder. And you could always, again, go on YouTube. What does the number 22 mean? And you'll get that. It's a double 11. So anybody out there that goes, oh my gosh, I always do see 11:11 on the clock. Right now there's a couple people going, that's me. And 11:11 back in the day meant God's time. Make wishes. It's the doors of heaven, the gates of heaven, opening up and everybody leaning in. And when I mean everybody, I mean your guardian angels, God himself, the saints, the masters, people that you have the past. I know it's going to sound corny, but even your pets are going, rough, did you need something? And yeah, they love to help us. Their love for us continues. They love being involved. Part of their joy in heaven is to be a part of our life. So let's talk about the numbers 2020, not only being a 22, and everybody's got some homework out there to look up what that number means. What does 11 mean? What does the master number 22 also mean? Okay, and they're both connected. 2 and 2, if you go 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is a 4, which is balance. It's the angels. It has to do with anti-Jerry Springer, right? And I want you to remember I want you to remember this. For balance, for joy, everybody's seeking happiness, but I say go for joy, right? Joy is bliss higher, right? So for joy to be experienced, balance is required. So for joy to be experienced, balance is required. So you can't go walking around going, she's a bitch, and oh my God, and then stop and go, life sucks. Why does life suck? I hate, why can't I get a nice day? You're pissing on everything, and then you complain it stinks. Okay, so we got to own it first. Stop blaming, okay? Because when you point out, you can't change anything. You start pointing to yourself, you can go within, and you can make things happen, okay? Now, one of the things you can do is take advantage of being in the new cycle of the year. The new cycle of the year, gym membership's up for a reason. And it's up for a reason because everybody believes this is the year I'm going to lose this fat on my stomach and my butt, but things are going to be different, I'm going to get my finances in order, my relationship, I'm going to get a relationship. They have all these dreams that they have more hope about, right? Fresh new start. So because the energy's in that direction already, when you wish in this cycle, your wishes come in faster. Oh, now everybody's listening now. Okay.
You've got everybody's attention, yes.
Yeah, so what I want you to do, ready? Everybody takes out a piece of paper and you write quality of life at the top. Spelling doesn't count. Quality of life. You're going to write the word balance and the word highest. It doesn't matter if you write the word highest or balanced. You write it underneath it. Highest means that it blesses everything you're about to write, that everything, the way it happens, everybody wins. You don't want money and you get hit by a bus and you're in a body cast, but you got 10 grand in the bank. No, we don't want it that way, right? Right. Everybody wins. It's all for the good of all. Okay, so that's highest. Balance means the right amount if there should be a measure of things. So let's say you say, I want more income but less hours of work. And I already perceive people writing that one down out there, right? More income, less hours of work.
Can you see my paper?
I was just thinking, yes.
Can you write that down real quick? To be surrounded by positive, uplifting people, to have more energy, to be passionate about your life, and to not only ask for more money for your bills, but to actually ask to feel and be financially safe and secure. That's a whole separate thing. When I asked for that, I found Costco. And when I get a paper plate out of $600, I feel rich for $5.99. So that's what happened to me. God will allow that listening and following to co-create with you in the way it's best for you that suits you. So what you're going to do is you're going to just pay attention to that feeling of connecting to your team, to heaven, And you're going to be asking them for favors, not only about yourself, but other people. And every wish must be stated as a positive outcome. So if I have asthma, which I do, I would not say I don't want it. I would say that I would love to feel and know that my lungs are healing and becoming strong. Okay? And when you're all done, this is the last thing. Ready? You're going to put it, and you can write as many as you want, by the way. You're going to lay it next to your bed. You're going to read it before you go to bed or at any point you feel pulled to read it. And you're going to comb through your list after you're done. This is the last thing. Ready? Comb through it. Write it first. Let it come out one thing at a time, from one edge of the paper straight across. One wish right after the other. No numbers. Okay, you could write about, again, other people. Write their names so God knows where to point the energy in their direction. When you're all done, you're going to make sure, you're going to comb through and make sure there's just at least one thing, there could be more, of something spiritual, something emotional, something material, and something physical. Okay, spiritual could be to have a vivid dream of your father when you're right, and then when you wake up, you remember it in great detail. Another one could be to hear my guidance clearer with confidence. A emotional one would be to feel and be financially safe and secure, right? A material one is concert tickets. Everything that you see around you, every experience in the earth plane, hanging out with your bestie is all a material request. And you do not want to forget your physical body. Comb your body. Think of the top of your head slowly and just kind of comb through it to the very bottom of your feet. Could anything be better? Write it down at its outcome. Because if I said, do not think of an elephant, don't you dare picture an elephant with a pink tutu. You got two elephants in your head, and one's wearing a pink tutu. So you never say what you don't want, because you will attract it. Mm-hmm. Be careful about that, all right? And if you do write something down that, let's say, God sees, because you don't, that would not be good for you, He's co-creating with you, so He wouldn't make it happen. Your dad in heaven, all the people you love that are past, are taking this. Oh, more laughter for AJ. Oh, more laughter for Tracy. Oh, I remember how to make them laugh. Oh, I got that one. And they're flying out there and making things happen to help you laugh more in your life. Do you understand? So somebody starts farting. Okay. So that's the way we're going to end this. So have fun with it. Every 6 months you write it. That's only twice a year. Should take 15, 20 minutes tops. So you're asking yourself, out of the whole year, 40 minutes for you to think about why you're here and what you want? Right? You got to make time for that. Okay?
I love that. I was just watching something the other day, and if I think of it, I will give it credit. They were saying that if you want something from God, from the universe, from your higher self, that you have to be specific. If you're murky about what you want, you're going to get your murky results. So this was so insightful.
And we'll make sure we'll make sure that we put these instructions on our site.
Right, AJ took good notes.
Yes, so. I do. I take very good notes.
And you don't write numbers. You don't write, I want to weigh 128 pounds. You know what I mean? You write the feeling. You write the actual outcome. Like I asked for, I'm going to tell you this real quick story. I went there. I asked for my daughter-in-law, who loves Steven Tyler. I did it. I said, God, I want Steven Tyler to sing her a song. I don't know how it's going to happen. Every year he comes to our area around her birthday, if not on her birthday. Every year we get tickets. Everywhere he's a dot. Every year he's a dot right there on the stage. I asked that as a wish. That year, didn't he come to the tower, which is like him singing to you in your living room? Yeah. And God told me, go up to the stage now when we were there. And I told Christine, I said, come with me. She goes, no, Mom, I'm really fine here. I said, well, then I'm going to go up. I ran up to the stage. I stood in front of him. I had a tap on my shoulder. I thought, here's where I'm getting kicked out. It was Christine. She followed me. I grabbed Christine and I threw her in front of Steven Tyler. He looked at her and sang her a song. No one in the world knew this wish except for God, all of heaven, and me, not even my husband.
Well, God does good work.
He does.
and the Tower, for anybody who's dialing in from or listening in from someplace outside of Philly, the Tower is a great venue in our area.
It is.
It's a smaller venue. It's an older
very
venue.
Small. It's like it's like that him playing in your grade school auditorium.
Yes, that's
exactly right.
I love that story. So that's the power of setting intentions and setting your messages. And again, we'll put all this information on inspiredchiradio.com because we want everybody to take advantage of this. This is a way to jumpstart the rest of your life. No matter where you're coming from, we can all head in a better direction. And connecting with our saints and our spirits is through meditation or through ritual. It's the place to start. It's the place to start.
And we will certainly provide all of the links to Teresa's website. She does a lot of her social media through Facebook. She has a center in North Wales, Pennsylvania. So when you are hearing this in the description, we will put there all of the ways that you can connect with Teresa and see some of her work. Now, one thing right before we wrap up this interview, Teresa, you have a show coming up. Don't you have a show coming up for 2020?
Yes, I do. Did I say that natural?
It just
real quick before that, I want to say hi to everybody out there. God brought you to the show to hear what you're hearing today, and that everything's going to be better. I'm telling you, everything's going to be better. This is another step for things going in the right direction. Now, if you feel you want to check out my Facebook page, Teresa, Teresa, there's a Roba, Roba. And I'm telling you, I feel like sometimes I have to throw out a message, or sometimes I have to pull a card, or sometimes I have to do a live video and just get some messages out there or talk about whatever. So there's all these things that you can benefit by going just to my regular Facebook page. And then I have my other Facebook page that actually is the Spiritual Center, or Spiritual Medium Theresa Roba. There's two of them. So visit both if you can, okay? It would, believe me, you might be just going on there to see, and there goes a message that you need to hear. So, yes, I got guided because God's always going, now this is what you're going to do. I go, really? Okay. And he gave me the name. He gave me Spirit Inspires. And when we met, you said Inspired Chi. I was like, are you kidding me? So we're connected to the same people up there.
Except
we went to the same school, so there you go.
Yeah, and we got all the. It's not an easy task, we want to do it like recorded, but then sent out there, and we're going to do like at the center. We're going to have a little audience. We're going to have guests, like a little spiritual talk show, and I'll be giving readings. And somehow we want to see if we can do readings somehow. Like just people phoning in it or whatever at certain times. But it's really going to be something powerful. I feel really excited about it, So I really can't wait. Probably sometime in the spring is when we'll start. Probably like May or June will be our first show, live. Or we're kind of working out the kinks because I used to do a Teresa Roba, In the Afterlife with Teresa Roba, and we used to do it for free every Wednesday night. Live. We had people calling in from all over the world, and we do all these free readings over the airwaves, and sometimes we'd had people live in studio having like guests and stuff, and it was really powerful. It was really fun, but that kind of made its way. And it's funny how everything was 8 years, because that ended in 8 years. So this is the next level. This is the next level.
8 is an abundance number. So we wish you all the luck in the world with that show. We will absolutely let our listeners and our clients and friends know about that when it goes up. And Teresa, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And Teresa, we've had
it always goes so fast when you're having fun, huh?
We have had such a blast. And for all of our friends and clients and family, and for the universe listening in, Bright blessings to all of you. This has been Inspired Chi Radio along with Teresa Roba. We were thrilled to have you, and bright blessings to everyone.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Inspired Chi Radio. Be sure to join your host, Tracy Sanginetti and AJ Johnsack, for another edition next Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Stay inspired.